actually let you touch their money? Yeah, pretty much. This is a story about our favorite little friend, 19-year-old Jessie. She was good at a lot of things, okay? She was, you know, she liked to, she was doing her best. I know this may sound weird, but like I have a suspicion that I'm not the only one that felt like this. I always wanted to be a cashier. That was my dream in life. They said dream big, I said dream Walmart. I just like the idea of having money in between my fingers and like counting it and like throwing it. Well, not like throwing, okay, Rick Ross, relax. I just liked holding money. It was just like an interesting thing. I had all the little plastic cash registers, okay? I had the ones from the dollar store, I had the Barbie ones, I had the Mickey Mouse ones, I had the regular ones. I had literal aisles of fake groceries in my room, okay? You think this is a joke? So when I got the opportunity to be a teller, it was amazing. It was like a cashier on steroids, okay? Who wouldn't want that? I don't think I was necessarily qualified for the job just because I was like 19 and like really flustered easily. But my ex-boyfriend at the time, the one that I did the story time on, that I moved out with him, I'm gonna put that link down below if you haven't seen it yet, because that's a juicy one. He actually got me that job because he knew the branch manager. I got the job, I was like, oh my God. Jesus, is that you? And I was excited. I was like, oh my God, this is like it. I genuinely did not want to move up in rank, okay? I didn't want to eventually become branch manager. I just wanted to be a teller forever. So I went to training. Training was actually a 2-week process. And it was really intense. We learned about sales, we learned about the money, we learned about fake money, we learned about fake checks, we learned about it, just too much. By the time I got to the branch, I was already a CIA agent status, okay? Now, they don't call tellers anymore, okay? They call them sales and service representatives. I didn't know what that meant, but I was like, fine, if it means I can handle money, like I don't give a fuck, call me what you want. And as the job went on, I think I worked there for a total of like 9 months. I realized, oh, they want me to sell shit. Oh, I get it. Sales and service representative. Okay. Credit cards, mortgages, they wanted you to refer all of those things. So if you were in the front line, they wanted you to talk to those people and get mortgage referrals and all that stuff. And if that deal ended up going through, then you would get a certain compensation for that later on. The idea of that was always nice, but sales just like was never in my blood. Now, before I go on to explain why I was literally the worst bank employee in the world, let me just tell you a story. This has nothing to do with that, but I just remembered this and I was like, I have to share it. We were always taught about robberies and what to do in a situation if someone were to rob you. I worked at a really ghetto location. Like, it wasn't ghetto, it was just like a rundown neighborhood. It was primarily older Hispanic people who were like cashing social security checks, or typically lower income people. Like, it was not a fancy schmancy place, okay? Because of that, we had like bulletproof glass and the whole 9 yards. I would work the drive-thru and I would work the front like thing, because basically there's like 5 stations, but you would kind of grab where you would. So if there wasn't another customer in line, but there were people on the drive-thru, you would go and you would tend to them. One day I got one of those little, you know, the things that you put in the bank thing and they go whoo, and then they go whoo. Those. And I opened it and there was a note and I was like, oh shit. And when I read the note, it said, give me money, and I literally shit my pants. Looking back now, I can understand, like, why would someone rob you through the drive-thru? Like, I can just close the blinds. But I was still scared shitless, okay? Like, my heart dropped to my vagina, the whole 9 yards. I froze up. I didn't say anything. I just looked at it, I was like, and then in very tiny letters, it says in 20s, 10s, and 5s, thank you. And then there was a withdrawal slip. Jessie has been overreacting since God knows when. That was just like a little fun fact. That was scary as fuck. Anyway, once the sales thing started kicking in, I was like, fuck. But in the beginning, it was okay because they didn't really take it that seriously. It was like, yeah, we want you to sell the credit cards and we want you to refer the mortgages, but it wasn't enforced, like in the beginning, for the first like 5 months that I worked there. I was like, okay, like it's cool. They like give a suggestion that I should sell things and then like I wipe my ass with it. Like that works perfectly for me. Until they started like really cracking down the whip. I guess the higher ups realized that our branch was doing very poorly when it came to sales. And so we started having weekly meetings where the branch manager, the assistant branch manager, everyone had to be there and talk about sales and what we needed to do for that week. And then at the end of the month, we all had like a report, like a single report that said how much each individual person sold. I was like, God damn it. Like I didn't mind if it was like a team thing, like as a team we failed. Like I don't want to fail by myself. It's not fun. I started with the credit cards. I was like, okay, I guess the most like plausible thing that I would be able to sell to someone is a credit card. And I had a credit card from that bank and I worked there, so it wasn't too hard to get approved for one, but I also knew the interest level was a little bit ridiculous. I knew it wasn't like a great deal. So it was hard for me. Since we worked in a lower income area, I mean, I just don't know how to look at someone and try to promise them that they can have all this free money and then they have to pay a lot more than they spent back. It's just like, I couldn't do that. So I would try, like if I saw that someone had a lot of money in their account, I would try to like suggest it, and I usually got shot down. I'd be like, yeah, no, like it's totally fine, like it doesn't even matter. But I do remember this one specific time where this woman was actually coming up to me to ask me about the credit card opportunity. I looked at her account, I pulled it up, and I just like saw that she had been negative so many times. And of course that has nothing to do with actual credit, but I just figured, I'm like, maybe this is not gonna be good for her. If she's in the negatives and then she can't pay off her card, it's gonna fuck her up. So I remember telling her, I was like, listen, and I like looked around. My teller supervisor was like eating lunch, and I was just like, look, there's a lot of interest on this card, like it's not really the best. I think you can go and find something better somewhere else. And I remember her looking at me and like kind of being shocked that I said that, and was like, thank you so much. I was like, no, it's no problem. It's just really not that good. It's kind of like when you're at a restaurant and you're asking the waitress if like a certain item is good, and she's like, oh, and you're like, oh. Keep it real, girl. So anyway, I did a lot of that. I did a lot of avoiding the credit cards, and then the sales calls started. Sales calls were literally us trying to call customers to get them to like refinance their mortgage with us. Guess who knows nothing about refinancing mortgages? This girl. So we would literally take a break from what we were doing, even if there was a line or anything. That's how much they wanted us to get these referrals, and they would say, stop what you're doing. I don't care if there's a line. Other people can cover you. Go to the office and make your calls. And we would have to make around 30 to 40 calls a day, and that's a lot of calls. At first, I tried, okay? I tried really hard, not that hard, a little bit, and I would make calls to people, and I was like, so like, what's your mortgage like? And they were like, it's good. And I'm like, it's good? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, if you ever need anything, give me a call. That's my sales technique, okay? I can't sell anything. I have never understood sales. Like, no offense to people who are in sales, I just like, it doesn't click for me. I'm not good at it. So that was like my main issue. Also, just like, I didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't know how to tell people about refinancing their mortgage. I had never had a mortgage. I have never refinanced a mortgage. I don't know. So that was number one. I had no idea what I was talking about. Number two, they spoke in Spanish. About 99% of the branch spoke in Spanish. So if I didn't know what I was talking about in English, you take a wild guess of how it sounded in Spanish. So since I didn't even know how to say the words in Spanish, it would just make me so nervous. And I remember calling them and saying, please don't pick up, please don't pick up, please don't pick up, please don't pick up. And when they would pick up, I was like, oh no. It was just a very high stress situation. But it got to a certain point where I realized, like, I don't want to do this, okay? But Jesse's not a quitter. So what did Jesse do? Jesse called her voicemail. That's right. Every time I was supposed to make a sales call, I called my phone and then I left a voicemail. Sometimes I would pretend I was leaving a voicemail. Sometimes I would pretend the person picked up. It really was a switch every time. And I got away with it for the most part. Honestly, I really did. They believed that I was making my calls. It was just when the referral part came up, they just, you know, they didn't match. It's like, Jesse, you made 100 calls. That's amazing. Not even one referral. Awesome. So eventually it came to a point where I had to quit or I was gonna be fired, okay? I remember that I would go into the employee's bathroom and I would stay in there for so long. Like, people probably thought I had diarrhea, I was throwing up. I don't know what they thought. I really didn't care. I just took longer breaks than I needed to. I wasn't the best employee, but it was just because I didn't feel appreciated, okay? But yeah, that's the story about the time that I was the world's worst bank teller. If you are a teller, I feel for you, but maybe I just gave you an idea. Call your voicemail. You don't need to call anyone for their mortgages. Call yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I put out new videos every Tuesday and Saturday, so if you're into that kind of shit, subscribe to my channel. Also, I have a Twitter and an Instagram. I know I put this in my last video. I know you saw it, but I'm gonna pretend you didn't see it. It's here. Please go on it. Why do you keep ignoring me? Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye. Hey guys. Oh my god, Jesse drinks something other than alcohol? That is shocking. I do agree, by the way. Sometimes your liver is just like, please help me. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm wearing my glasses today because my eye doctor literally told me that if I continue to not wear my glasses, I'm gonna develop a lazy eye. So let's start with the story time. This story is pretty quick, but it's funny one and I had to share it. I love watching Annie Marie on YouTube. If you don't know who she is, I'll link her video down below because I was watching it and she was talking about like drunk hickey stories and it was just a really funny video. So if you want to watch that, I'll put the link down below. But it reminded me, I was like, oh